What's up, YouTube? It's like the fourth time we recording this video. Benny drives back with another trucking video. I'm at a Flying J in San Antonio, Texas. I haven't uploaded a video in like 3-4 months now. I wanted to tell you guys why. I'm gonna give you guys a whole story. Basically, because I started mentoring, and I actually had my first student, and it went absolutely terrible. It was awful. I'll get into that. My 2022 Kenworth that Swift put me in got hit at a truck stop, so I was in a body shop for a month while I was mentoring. So I had a loaner truck the entire time I was mentoring. So that happened. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and start the story of my experience mentoring. So I come off home time. I got my truck. I was hit right before I went on home time. So got the truck, took it to Greer. I was supposed to pick up my student around the same time that I put my truck in the body shop. Literally the day that I got my student, we cleaned out our main truck and put all my stuff in the loaner truck, and took the loaner truck to the body shop. Boom, so we're in a loaner truck. The loaner truck sucked. Throughout the month that I was with my student, we got 3 tires replaced. We fixed the AC. I had to replace 2 headlights. Our fridge did not work. All my food went bad. So that happened. And replaced the mud flap bracket. My bad, I was looking at something at the truck stop. You see some weird things at the truck stop at night. Anyway, so I picked up my student. The guy is not from America. I'm not going to give too much details because I don't really want to expose him, but I just want to tell you guys what exactly happened. He's from Central Asia, somewhat. We'll put it that way. Close to over there. Yeah. Anyway, guy was like in his early 40s, late 30s, something like that. He was a cool guy. I mean, somewhat. We got along at first. Somewhat of the first red flag that I noticed, he liked to talk over me. He acted like he knew what was supposed to be getting done. He acted like he knew what was better for each situation that we came across, like where to park. He only wanted to park at Love's because he liked their coffee and things like that. The first night we went to park, and it was a straight back. We finally got, I helped him back up. We got in there, but as I was helping him back up, it was almost like he wasn't listening and kind of doing his own thing, but he was doing it terribly. He gets back in the spot, and I'm trying to tell him what to do. He's not listening. He gets back in the spot, and his truck and trailer is sitting like this. Truck is just like this, trailer just like that. His trailer's in the other spot next to us, and he hops out the truck, smiling, ready to go in the truck stop, do whatever. And I was like, no, we can't do that. I was like, we can't have our trailer in one spot and our truck in another spot. He's like, if it was just me and I was solo right now, that's how I'd park. I was like, that's good for you. I was like, while you're on the truck with me, I was like, we're not gonna be parking like that. You cannot do that. Explain to him truck stop etiquette, things like that. Somewhat of a first red flag, whatever. Next day, another red flag that happened. We're empty, deliver our load, we're empty, going to pick up our other load. Going up and down hills, we're empty, so we're going to go faster than some people. He decides he wants to pass this lady in this semi truck. So he starts to pass. There's like 4 or 5 lanes. It's where the interstates are, like 4 or 5 lanes, like I said. He starts to pass this lady and go around her. He gets over in the next lane, gets in front of her. Now, the back of our trailer couldn't have been like half a car length in front of her bumper. And what he does is starts to get over, and actually gets over with, like I said, with like a half a car length in front of her truck. I was like, oh Lord. So that lady, I'm explaining to him, I'm like kind of low-key freaking out, but not too bad. I'm like, dude, we cannot be doing that. I was like, you're very close to the front of her bumper. You gotta give a lot of space, you know, especially when passing trucks. Explaining to him things like that. As soon as that happens, the lady gets over, comes by, gives us the finger. He didn't even want to look her way, which I wouldn't either, but I'm not going to go around cutting people off. If I could not count how many times that had happened throughout our training of him doing that after me explaining to him over and over and over that we cannot be doing that. That happened. There was a lot of situations where he's not swinging wide enough. I'll say, hey, we need to stay over to the right so we can swing wide. Don't listen. Runs over top curves. We were pulling into a shipper one time. We pull up, and after all day of telling him to swing wide, in the shipper, you had to go just like this to the guard shack. The curve went just like that. Guard shack right here, right? So he starts to make the turn, and he gets his truck up to the guard shack, and I'm looking in the mirror, and his trailer tires are sitting on top of the curb. And he gets up to the guard shack, and I was like, hey dude, look in this mirror. I was like, where are your trailer tires at? He's like, oh. And I was like, yeah, I'm trying to explain it. Whatever. Another major issue that we had, every time we went somewhere, he was going crazy fast in the truck. What I mean by that, every time we're pulling into a truck stop, he's going at an unsafe speed. We're traveling through truck stops at unsafe speeds, like 25 miles an hour through a truck stop is what I'm talking about. And I'm over here like, you need to slow down, slow down, slow down, slow down. First instance where things got a little bit awkward. We did not have a load, so we were going to go park for a minute for them to send us a load. We're coming to the truck stop, and it's somewhat of a sharp right turn. And we are like less than 500, maybe 1,500 feet away, somewhere in there to the turn, and this man's going like 30 miles an hour. And I'm like, sitting back in the seat, I'm like, what are you doing? I was like, I'm over here like, slow down, please slow down, please slow down. And he's got the nerve to say, he's like, you like talking a lot, don't you? I was like, he's like, I know how fast I need to go, da da da. You don't have to tell me to slow down every time we go somewhere. I got a little bit frustrated because I was explaining to him that he can hit somebody, he can wreck into something, he could hurt himself by wrecking into something. Things like that. That happened. That was like our first, I don't want to say argument, but it was the first, like, you need to pay attention to what I'm saying and stop trying to do your own thing. Like, it was a stern conversation, put it that way. That happened. Throughout training, it was like one day he would do okay driving, one day would be absolutely terrible and cause some major event to happen. Like that. Like he was literally going crazy fast into a sharp right turn into a truck stop, trying to do his own thing. The second week, I don't remember much about the second week, besides that, still minor things, still not swinging wide enough, and just little things that should not be an issue but were an issue, right? I do remember the second week, we're going down the highway, he's sitting here driving, he takes his phone out, the little cubby at the top, goes just like this. Literally, as we're going down the road, takes out his phone, looks at it, checking his phone, going down the highway while he's driving. I'm sitting in the seat like, dude. I was like, what are you doing? And he's like, oh, I need to check my phone in case anybody texts me or something like that. Like, that was his legit response. He's like, he needed to check to see if anybody was trying to text him. Anyway, we were like 10 miles away from the truck stop. We go park at the truck stop. As soon as he pulls his brake, we were done for the night, but as soon as he pulls his brakes out, he gets out of the truck, wants to run in the truck stop. I was like, dude, time out. I was like, pause, sit back in the truck stop. I was like, sit down for a second. We need to have a talk. I talked to him for like a good 10 minutes about how serious of a situation that was, how he could lose a CDL, what if it had swerved and hit somebody, things like that. So that happened. Now, we're still having minor things happen, and the next major event, I could not believe this happened. He's from a town in South Carolina. We were in Florida. We had a load going up to this town in South Carolina, and we were dropping a load, or getting live unloaded there, going over the same town, picking up a load, leaving, and that was it, right? So when he finds out we're going to where he's from in South Carolina, he's like texting his family, like da da da, and he wants to meet for dinner or some food, go hang out, this and that. I'm explaining. I was like, he mentioned it one time, and I was like, dude, we can't. I was like, we don't have time to be doing all that. And we were going like super early in the morning. I was like, we don't have time to be doing all that, and he's like, okay, yeah, whatever. So he drives, we're in Florida, we have to switch because the load delivered in South Carolina by like 5 or 6, I think. So I had to drive up there all through the night. And he's asleep in the bunk as I'm driving. It was super early in the morning, and we get to this city in South Carolina, and I'm on the phone with my mom at the time. She's up like really early, and I'm just talking to her, whatever. He comes up here, sits in the seat, I was like, hey, we're real close to our delivery, blah blah blah. So we get to a stoplight at this town, and he's like, look, my wife's about to pick me up. I'm gonna hop out right here, and I'll meet you at the place we're gonna pick up our next load at. I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, I'll see you in a few hours. Literally hops out the truck, at a stoplight at 3 a.m. in the middle of this town in South Carolina. Says he'll be back. Like this is my first student. I was like, I don't know what to do in this situation. Whatever. I go make the first delivery, and I'm picking up at a port. I go over to the port to pick up the load. He's not there. He called me, I think he called me. I delivered the load, went to the port, and I was literally a drop and hook at the port, so I was not going to be there long whatsoever. So he called me. He's like, or he texted me or called me. No, he texted me. He said, let me know when you're at the port, blah 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 blah. And I didn't see that message till I got to the port. And so I said, I'm at the port now. I was like, just dropped my empty, about to hook to the loaded. He's like, okay, well, wait for me. I was like, I don't know if I can wait that long. And he's calling. He's like, man, why can't you just help me out? He said, just wait at the port for me. I was like, dude, I was like, where are you at? He's like, I'm 30 minutes away. In my head, I'm like, what is going on, dude? Like, so I hooked to my trailer and everything, and he's calling me. He's like, please, man, wait for me. He's like, why do you gotta be like this? Why can't you help me out? Why you gotta be like this? Da, da, da. He's like, da, 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 whatever. He finally gets to the port as I'm checking out. Hops in the truck, and we're talking for a second. He's like, man, why you gotta be like that? He's like, I just wanted to go home. I wanted to see my wife and kids. I was like, I get that. You got a family. I was like, I got a family too, but we can't be doing those things. Whatever. Yeah, it was a whole situation. Not too many things happened after that besides still the minor stuff, still running stop signs, coming way past the line at a stoplight, not swinging wide enough for certain things, running over curbs, not following distance was not where it should have been, still getting in front of people way too close. These are constant things that are happening on a daily basis. It's just some more days, some less. So we got to the point where he had enough hours to upgrade to go solo in his own truck. I was not going to upgrade him. Like, no, there was no chance. I let him know that. I was like, dude, you're drive too recklessly, and things along those lines. And so we're at the Greer terminal. I'm telling my boss, I'm like, what do you want me to do? He's got enough hours to upgrade. I was like, I cannot sign off on him. They're like, all right, well, we'll have him do like a road test with this guy at the terminal and whatever. So we're at the terminal. He gets in the truck to go do the road test with this guy. They go out, come back probably like 30 minutes later, and the guy walks in front of him. He's like, and whatnot, and waited a few minutes, and he pulls me to the side with my boss, and he's like, this guy, he's like, no, he's like, I'm like pretty lenient when it comes to people, like I'll work with them. He's like, but this guy, he's like, how many hours you say you had? And I was like, you got like 160 driving hours. And he's like, oh my god, I don't know. And the other guy is like, we'll just take him out for another 3 to 5 days, and we'll see what happens. But there was a little miscommunication there, because the other guy didn't know how bad the guy actually was driving and whatnot. So took him out for another 3 to 5 days, and I basically told him, I was like, look, dude, I'm talking to my student, I'm like, look, you want me to take you out for another 3 to 5 days if I was like, unless something drastically improves in the next 3 to 5 days, I was like, they're either going to send you out with another mentor or let you go. I gave it to him straight, and he's like, well, I'm not going out with another mentor. He's like, I'm just going to quit if that happens, blah blah blah. I was like, well, to be honest with you, they're probably going to send you out with another mentor, because driving habits like that don't change overnight. And he's like, okay, blah blah blah. He's like, thanks for being a good mentor and things like that. We're okay at this point. We're cool. So we got 3 days. I gave it 3 days. First day, cool, smooth, whatever. It was almost to the point, like I was comfortable with him driving. Like if we were on an interstate for 200 miles or so, I would be able to take a nap or something like that, because we were not team driving. Like I was still sitting in the seat. I still had to critique his driving after like almost a full month of him driving. So first day goes by smooth. Second day, right? Second day, what happens? Let me back this up. I thought of something major that just happened. Right before he did his driving test, his little little assessment or whatever, 2 major events happened in one day. He goes to pass somebody's little minivan. They're like about midway of our trailer, puts a signal light on, looks in the mirror as they're about midway of our trailer, starts to swerve over while they're still midway of our trailer, right? And they're like, they swerve hard and like slam on the brakes and things like that. And I'm freaking out. I was like, dude, what are you doing? I was like, you almost freaking ran those people off the road, blah blah blah. And he's like, well, they should have slowed down for me. He's like, you're overreacting. His favorite line was, I was overreacting about this situation, right? And I'm like, dude, I was like, you just ran them off the road, yada yada yada. I'm like freaking going nuts over here. It's like, what are you doing? You can't be doing that. And like the van, like whole situation, whatever, dies down for a little while. We're heavy. Keep this in mind, we're heavy. This is the second event. Cresting over a hill. At the very bottom of this hill, there's a red stop light. No, it was a green stoplight. I was coming down this hill, it was changing to red. We're heavy, but we're not heavy enough to where this should have happened. He puts his engine brake on the max setting, hits the brakes, and it's like everything happened in slow motion when this happened. We're coming to the intersection way too fast. I was like, brakes. I'm sitting over here, brakes. I see a car crossing the intersection. All right. Say the line is right here. The car's going this way. The line's right here for him to stop. Man does not come to a stop till his trucks. We had about 3/4 of our truck in the middle of an intersection when he finally came to a stop. All right. So we almost T-boned these people. We couldn't have been 15 feet away from T-boning these people. They had to swerve around us. It was a whole big deal. Like, I'm not even lying, you guys. Like, these are events that actually happened last month. When that happened, you know, I was telling my boss, I was like, this is what's going on, you know, whatever. And I'm like, I'm to the point, like, I'm done, you know, like, there's no helping these guys or whatever. They tell me to take them out. Back to this. They tell me to take them out for 3 to 5 days. Here's where it got hairy. First day, cool, smooth, no issues. You do not have one issue besides a little bit, like not turning wide enough, things like that, little stuff that should not have been issues at this point in the training. So, second day is where it all went downhill. The very first early in the morning, he rolls through a stop sign, strike one. I asked him why he rolled through the stop sign. He said, I didn't. I said, you did. I sat there and watched you. He rolled through the stop sign. He's like, oh, well, you're just overreacting about it. You know, blah, 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 you know, things like that. Okay. We get to our customer, right? I'm looking on the satellite. He's driving. I'm looking on the satellite view how to get the customer, you know, where the door's at, this and that. We park. We both hop out the truck, send our macro in to say we arrived at our final destination, things like that. Walk inside the building. All right, imagine you walk inside a building and it's an open warehouse. There's like a little table off to the side. Nothing to do with like signing papers, but this little table off to the side for the workers that are there or whatever. On this table, I noticed there was a Coca-Cola, a drink, soda, sitting on the table, right? Like somebody had put it there, and obviously it was not there for people to, drivers for example, to take. Okay, keep that in mind. Anyway, I'm talking to the lady, and he's standing next to me talking. He pulls out his cell phone, starts talking on the phone while this lady's talking to us, telling where to drop the empty at. He's sitting here talking on his phone, talking to one of his friends or something, and the lady's telling us where to drop our empty at, or drop our loaded trailer, my bad. Drop our loaded trailer, where's the empty at, what we need to do, this and that. She's explaining what's going on. He's over here, talking, so he's not paying attention to anything that's going on. All right, he's still on the phone, you know, I tell the lady, cool, that's what we'll do. We turn around and walk out the building. I notice he's got the Coke in his hand, and it took a minute to register, but he's still on the phone talking, laughing, whatever. And I look over, I was like, was that the Coke off the table in there? Asking out of curiosity. He said, yeah. He's like, yeah, I just took it. I was like, we were walking back. I stopped and turned to him. I was like, what do you mean you took it? I was like, that wasn't yours, was it? He's like, oh no, but it was on the table in there. The table next to all the stuff? Like, yeah. I was like, so you stole it? And he's like, no, I didn't steal it, I took it. I swear to God, that's what he said. He said, no, I didn't steal it, I just took it off the table. What? At this point, like, my temper is like he just literally stole from the customer. Granted, it was a drink, yes, but the drink was not for us, so he stole the drink. So I was like, no, we're putting that back. I reached out my hand for him to put the Coke in my hand for me to go put it back. I was like, I'm not letting him take it to the truck. I'm starting to get a little bit mad at him. I was like, why are you stealing? I was like, out of all things, you already can't drive to save your life. Why are you stealing now? I didn't say that, but I stick my hand out for the Coke. He snatches his hand back, walks like angrily back in the building, takes the Coke, slams it on the table. He said, hey, I'm putting the Coke back, guys, since Ben made me do it. Literally yells that throughout the entire warehouse. I'm thinking to myself, like, what is wrong with this guy? He comes back outside. I'm like, you know, you can't be stealing. He's like, I wasn't stealing, you're over it. His voice is going up, my voice is going up. It's getting like not good. It's not good. You know, explaining to him like the repercussions of stealing. I shouldn't have to be telling a grown man, double my age, why you cannot steal this and that. And his tempers are going up. And he pushes the brakes in to go to the back of the building. And he's like, where do we need to drop our loaded trailer at? And I'm like, well, I was like, if you wouldn't have been on the phone the entire time we were in there, you would know where to drop the trailer at. So he eases forward a little bit and stops. I was like, just go to the back of the building is what he said. Go to the back, going over speed bumps like 10 miles an hour. Okay. He's like, well, where do you want to drop the trailer at? It was literally like you just pull along the curb and park the trailer with the other trailers that were parked along the curb. Some trailers were parked just like this, and some trailers were parked along the curb. I was like, pull up next to this trailer, we'll drop it there. We're still mad. I'm still mad. He's just stole from the customer. That's like a huge no-no. It's like immediate termination type things, of course. And he's mad because he doesn't think he stole. He just took it, apparently. So I'm like, yeah, we'll just drop the trailer right here. He's like, oh, no, we'll go way down there and drop it. Okay. I was like, go down there and drop it. Wherever you want to drop the trailer at is fine. It's fine. He goes all the way to the end of the building, drops the trailer. That's where he wanted to drop it at. So we drop it there, sign the paper to the guy, whatever. We go back across the parking lot, and we're looking for it empty. We find it empty. We hook to it. I'm texting my boss in the meantime, letting her know, the situation that's going on. Like, he just stole from the customer. He just stole a drink from them. I made him go put it back. He slammed it down on the table. We're arguing at each other. We're yelling at each other. And this video turned out to be really long. Sorry about that. Yeah, that happened. We hooked to our empty trailer, and we're still arguing with each other. I'm at this point, I'm quiet. I'm just mad. I'm ready to be done. And he hooks to the trailer, and we don't have a load yet. And my boss is like, look, don't let him drive no more. Sit him in the seat. You drive the rest of the way back to the terminal, and we'll handle it when y'all get back. They sent us a load, and I didn't tell him what my boss had just said at that moment. And he's like, well, since I hooked to the empty, we'll just practice backing in the meantime. And I was like, no, we're not practice backing. I was like, you're going to sit in the seat, and I'm driving the rest of the way. He's like, good, F it then. I was like, yeah, F it, exactly. And, it was a whole ordeal. So we didn't talk much after that point. We had a load picking up like 100 miles north. And we go to a truck stop, and our load didn't pick up until 8 that night, and it was like 3 in the afternoon. And I go in the truck stop. I'm calling my boss. I needed to talk to her, about the situation. Calling my mentor, asking him, what he would do in this situation, things of such. And so I'm in the subway for like a good hour, just talking on the phone. I come outside. My student is sitting at the picnic table with all the stuff in the truck on the picnic table. And he's like, I walk up to him, I was like, hey, what's going on? I was like, why is all your stuff out here? And he tells me, he's like, you drive the rest. He said, I'm done. I'll find my own way back home. We're in Ohio, and he lives in South Carolina. And that was the last I saw of him. Packed all the stuff out. He got out of the truck. I guess he made it home. So that was my first student. After that happened, I got back to the terminal. I got my truck back, went on home time, and Lord, man, it was terrible, absolutely terrible. But yeah, that's what happened. He did not upgrade. Pretty sure Swift fired him. And yeah, he's planning to go owner-operator, serious, and haul containers out of a port. But he did not pass the training at Swift. Yeah. So I don't know exactly what he plans to do. I do not want to talk to that man no more. I wish him the best, but truck driving is not for him. Truck driving is not for everybody. But so yeah, that happened, and I'm back over the road right now. So yeah, but I probably won't be able to upload point of view driving videos as much because I don't like to do that, especially if I have a student. I don't really like recording around other people and such. But we'll see. I got my friend, he's in CDL school right now. Maybe we'll do some YouTube stuff. I don't know. I don't want to make people nervous with the camera, driving the first time, yada yada, things like that. But with that being said, if you made it to the end of the video, comment Coca-Cola at the bottom so I know you made it. So this is a long video of literally me just sitting here talking. But yeah, I just wanted to put that out there. Yeah, but that's going to do it for this video, guys. If you stayed the entire 31 minutes and 13 seconds right now, then I would greatly appreciate it. I post more trucking videos. If you got any questions about Swift transportation, put it in the comments. I always respond to like literally every single comment. I'll put my social media in the bio. Reach out to me. If you're thinking about joining Swift, call a recruiter. Give them my driver code 4522224. Give them that. We get a referral bonus. I'll get like $500. I might have the chance to train one of you guys. You know, that'd be pretty cool. Things like that. But yeah, that's gonna do it for the video. So peace.